Hello and welcome to this tutorial for LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. In this video we are going to be going over 4-4 in any percent. So to start off, this is where you spawn after skipping or watching the cutscene after 4-3. So first thing we've got to do with player 1, because you end 4-3 with only one player, is go through here. And what I'm going to try and do to start with is do a trick to be able to basically force a drop in on Hermione rather than a drop in on our designated player 2 character, which is Ron. Basically the way we do that is when we're entering this door, I'm going to like drop in with my A button on player 2. I'm going to drop in twice as the level is like fading out, but then stop any drop-in inputs before entering the next room. So I'll see if I can get it here. Okay, I didn't get it that time. I'll try and do it again. This is a very, very minor time save, like we're talking maybe a second or so, but if you can get it, it is worth it to go for it. I'll just reload the room quickly. But yeah, so we make our way to the door. And there we go. So dropping in at the right time and you get the Hermione drop in. Obviously if you do that, rather than spawning where Ron is, your player 2 is where Hermione is, which is closer. So you can then make your way with player 2 over and down the stairs. And then this room's player 1, next room will be player 2. The key thing here is, of course, we're trying to get to the garden, like, grounds area. Like so. And basically, once we enter the next door, the cutscene automatically starts. And we can turn around. You see this here, skip the cutscene, and we can immediately go back. And now we've got to make our way to the bathrooms. And while we're making our way there, I put both players on Lumos, because we're going to need Lumos. I also fire a shot with Hermione in this room. Basically what this does is reset her wand put away timer. Normally her wand would be put away about now, but because we reset it, she can just go straight through the door. So we got a series of 2 Lumos jumps we're going to do in the next 2 rooms. First one here is trophy jump. Trophy jump is very simple. You want to Lumos jump up to here. Activate Lumos while you're running in, and then once Lumos is activated you can stand still. Jump up, maximum height jump on top of this trophy. And then jump over and across. That last jump is probably the hardest one, because you don't want to be edge jumping on the trophy, or your Lumos, or even your jump input gets eaten. But yeah, this is the same trick we do before 2-3 as well. It just takes a little bit of practice. I apologise for yawning so much. I am apparently quite tired. But then from here, this is player 2's room. And the reason why we switched to Lumos on player 2 is to do a quick shortcut where we Lumos jump up this to avoid going around all the stairs. Once we're up here, switch to Reducto, and then make our way into the level itself. It's a very simple overboard movement. Once we're in this level, the key things to note are Myrtle is kind of significantly slower than Harry. Not so much just under regular walking. In fact, she might even be a little bit faster under regular walking. No, they're about the same. But when Myrtle's carrying an item, she is significantly slower than Harry. And that's very important for what we do in this room. So, first thing we're going to do, I'll show player 2 first. So Myrtle is going to go down, use magic on that barrel. And then you can keep holding the button to use magic on the toilets here. And then Myrtle will make her way to here to use Wingardium Leviosa. Harry will do a very similar thing. Will X aim and shoot all of these stalls because this umbrella spawns in one of them. If you've got a bit of extra time, which you normally should, you fire off another shot at the umbrella to open it, and then Harry will come back here, and both toilets will be forced together to do that. Once this happens, Myrtle is then going to go here, and is going to use magic on this to be able to give that umbrella, which drops a shell. At the same time, Harry is going to come down here and target each of these three sinks. You want to move far enough with Harry so that all the sinks are visible on screen during one target, because otherwise it's just way slower. And then once you've done this, you'll be in this position with both shells spawned. You want to pick up the closest one with Myrtle, because Myrtle moves slower, and the other one with Harry. And you'll see Harry will be able to close the gap a decent amount. And then we put all four of the shells in place. The one important thing with the shells, when you put them into the thing, is you don't want to be pressing B with both characters at the same time. If there's any kind of overlap on the shell putting down animations, they'll try and put the same shell, or sorry, put two different shells in the same spot, and that'll cause a soft lock. But once you do that, you put the fourth shell in, and you stand in the middle here with Myrtle, so Myrtle will immediately hit the trigger. Okay, so doing this again a little bit faster so you get a feel for how both characters kind of line up. We go like this, switch B to Wingardium Leviosa with Harry, and then we target the thing, and if you time it right, you can release a little bit earlier on the build with Myrtle, but only a tiny amount. And then position Harry again to see all three. You kind of just have to make sure all three are on screen before you do anything. And then you see this time around, this one actually spawns first, which gives Harry a little bit of an advantage, which is good because he's going to have to backtrack to pick up that final shell. And it also spaces both characters out nicely enough so that they won't soft lock. And then we do that like so. And then you can enter the cutscene. Again, from this room here, it's quite simple. Move forwards with both characters, and then use this broom to be able to brush away. Basically, you've got 9 panels, which are all kind of dirty to brush away. Quickest way to do this is just to go up, then either left or right. I tend to go left, then down, and then up the other one. And then once you've done that, I like to have both characters with their wands out facing into the pool. And then you just spam shoot on both to get rid of the scorpions until 2 boxes are thrown here, at which point you build them with Harry. And then immediately as this camera pan ends, you can build the next lot with Harry. There is a crate of scorpions in the center now, but that's not too important. You can kind of take both of them out here. There's no difference in speed of attacks between Myrtle and Harry, so you can kind of do them both at the same time and just use magic like that. And that will be it for the level. Quite a simple level. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.